responsible for my induction into the Hall of Honor, and to those who are here tonight on my behalf. To have your work remembered after all these years is a tribute for which I'm very humbled and very appreciative. I also would like to thank Dr. Gerber and Patty Hoyt for their kind remarks. As for the references to my appearance in younger days, my wife likes to say that was 40 pounds and 40 years ago. You can see me walk up the stairs here. Also, many thanks to Joan Miller for all her work coordinating this event. No easy feat, I'm sure. Congratulations to Dr. Chisel and Ashley Waters on their induction as well. I worked in several school systems in my early career before coming to Amesbury High School as principal. Almost immediately upon my arrival, I knew that I'd found my professional home. Home, a warm environment, and where you are welcomed, supported, and respected. A place where all members are working together toward a common goal. The excellent faculty that I inherited made it clear from the start that they were interested in collaborating with the new administrator for the betterment of all students. The door to my office was rarely closed, and I welcomed faculty, staff, and students to bring any and all issues to my office for discussion and resolution. Was it always smooth? No. Many changes took place over my 14-year tenure. Not all changes were greeted with applause. Going to block scheduling in the 90s was an innovative move to facilitate instruction. It involved changing 40-minute periods into 80-minute blocks. No easy task. The faculty had to completely restructure their lesson planning and adapt to a new weekly schedule. Being the troopers that they were, and many of them are here tonight, let's see, I lost the place there. They responded well, and the program proved to be very successful, and it is still used today. Another innovative idea was to start school an hour later. Do I have to tell you how popular that was for high school students? An extra hour of sleep. I should say most students were happy with the idea. However, scheduling was difficult, and the band ended up having to come in early. Not too many band members were smiling in my direction for a while. Also, during my tenure, we established the school building committee, which resulted in the renovation of the high school. It was a busy time. The success of any organization begins with leadership at the top. Former Superintendent Steve Gerber was, simply put, the best, top-notch. I could not have worked for a more supportive, straightforward, positive, and upbeat individual. Steve had to work through some difficult years financially during my tenure. He approached the budget, as he did all matters, with openness, fairness, and consideration for all concerned. Steve and I got to know each other well. He knew my strengths and my weaknesses. A principal must do a fair amount of public speaking, which was not exactly my forte. One night, I think it was an honest banquet, I gave a speech that I really felt good about. I was quoting Teddy Roosevelt, Emerson's definition of success. I was on a roll. Steve came over after the program and said he enjoyed my speech. Then he kind of paused, leaned in and asked, "Who was your ghostwriter?" Busted. I had to admit Carol assisted me a bit. And Steve, do you remember the first day of school when I took a folder from your dashboard of your car? The folder had all your notes for your afternoon welcoming remarks to the faculty. After watching you frantically search for a bit, I did return them. We worked hard and had some fun along the way. Dr. Julia Phelps, the curriculum coordinator at the time, also set an excellent example of excellence. I thank both of them for setting the high bar and allowing us to succeed. Quickly, I want to say how much I enjoyed working with the students at Amesbury High School. They were generally respectful and committed to learning. They had participated and achieved in a variety of activities. They were a great group of kids. That only happens when parents and a community place a high priority on education. Such is the case in Amesbury. My first year, I promised the senior class, if they set a good example for the underclassmen, I would take them whitewater rafting for their senior trip. And that was an overnight, by the way. That was the first time that happened. And I mentioned this today to the students in the assembly. Barb Leary was the advisor at that time, and she came up to me after I okayed it. Jerry, I never thought you would do that. But we did. It was a trip they wanted to experience. They responded. We made the trip, and a tradition began. And I would mention we won the Scotia Prince a couple times, which goes from Portland to Yarmouth. We even went horseback riding in the western part of New York. I wouldn't say too much about the horses, but they weren't going to take off and fly, that's for sure. In closing, I would like to once again thank the Amesbury Education Foundation for this honor. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.